Well, hello, this is Pamela Baird, and
Yeah, Tyrone.
let's talk boundaries, shall we?
Welcome to a special episode of Let's Talk Boundaries. Today, my husband and I dive into my new book, Triangulation: How to Break Free from Toxic Relationships. This Christian based guide explores how unhealthy patterns impact every area of your life and provides tools to overcome them. We'll discuss what triangulation is, how to recognize it, and why breaking free is essential to living aligned with God's purpose. Now, if you're ready to reclaim your peace, purpose, and joy, this episode is for you. Let's get started.
We wanted to take some time and share with you some information about something we're really excited about, and that's my new book that's coming out. It's about to be published in a couple weeks. It's called Triangulation, and the subtitle is How to Break Free from Toxic Relationships. So I'm sitting here with my husband, Tyrone, and he's been reading the book since we just got this print copy. This is just not for resale, it's a draft. And so there'll probably be a few changes made on the cover, but he's been reading the book that we got, and he had a couple questions that he wanted to ask me about the book. So I thought this is a great time to share this information with you so you get a good idea of what the book is about, what's included in the book, and who this book is for and why. So I know you got some questions, Tyrone. Go ahead and hit me.
Yeah, I know she said. Hey, guys, we just wanted to have a little fireside chat just to talk a little bit about the book, uh, talk more about what it can do for you and how you come about it. So, first of all, I know it's triangulation. What brought that theme to your mind?
It's interesting because probably about 10 years ago, I was working with a company and doing some consulting work and training. And one of the social workers, when I told her what I do, what I focus on, she said, "Have you heard of the drama triangle?" And I said, "Haven't heard of it." So I began to do research on it. And as I did the research, I realized just how much the drama triangle plays out in everyone's lives that I know. And one of the things about the drama triangle is there's a behavior that happens once things get really, really out of hand, and it's called triangulation. So I thought, you know what? Let's talk about this because most people aren't aware of the drama triangle. I know I wasn't. And most people aren't aware of what the damage that the drama triangle can do. And I thought, if I can share this information. So I took some time and did some research and start really seeing how the drama triangle was playing out, not only in my life at home when I was growing up, but in my past relationships and in my family and at my job. In my business, I could just see how the drama triangle was playing out. And now, when I see other people that are participating in that, then immediately I identify it and I know what I need to do to combat the toxic behavior that's trying to come up against me.
That's good. I know you talk a lot of things in general, and it started off just from a life discovery of things that's gone through your life. So you got to this point where you identified what we call the drama triangle. So
Mhm.
explain a little bit of that to me.
Okay, the drama triangle is a dysfunctional model of behavior that was created by a Dr. Stephen Cartman back in 1968. And from that, I realized that, wow, this is something that everybody they need to understand because it's a dysfunctional model of behavior that people need to be able to identify so they don't continue to keep themselves in this do loop of misery, this do loop of frustration, and also putting themselves in a position where they're stuck and they can't move forward because emotionally they get stuck there and they don't know how to get out.
Mm, that's good. I know you say and when we talked and stuff like that, you say, "Well, I started on this book 5 years," but actually, you've been doing this for a long time because I've watched you do it. And guys, I've been knowing this woman for a very long time, and I've watched her write stuff down in her journal,
Hmm.
specifically to things that happened in your life, issues that you had to get through, and boundaries and stuff like that that you had. So when you talk about this drama triangle, where did the concept start, and identify what shape of your drama triangle did you notice when it started?
I'm glad you said that, because one of the important things, and it's throughout this book as well, but I'm also a journaling practitioner. It means I've been journaling since I was about 11 years old. And I've learned different styles of journaling, different forms of journaling. And I've included that ability to journal within this book because I believe that journaling is so important to be able to work through anything that comes up in your life. I know it's worked for me. And if you don't have anybody to talk to, anybody you can confide in other than your Lord Jesus Christ, you can talk to him through your journaling. And it helps you to work through things. It helps you to answer questions that are really confusing you or keeping you stuck. Then you get a chance to journal and work that out. And this book gives you an opportunity to do that as well. But there's a shape to bondage. And the shape to the bondage is the triangle. It's the drama triangle. There's also another shape, and that's the circle. It's called the circle of discomfort. So we're talking about triangles, rectangles, circles, things like that.
Got them all, guys. I tell you.
We do, but it's a visual that really helps you to make sense of what's going on. You know, in the Bible, in Habakkuk, he talks about write your vision on tablets, because it's amazing what you see when you write it down. And that's what journaling helps you to do. So that shape of your bondage is like something that you have to identify if you're going to get out of it.
Sometimes people ask, well, is it for me or is it not for me or whatever it is? Everybody got issues, period. We all got an issue somewhere. And it stems back from growing up or something part of our life. It may be minute, but that minute thing is kind of like if you don't correct the small thing, over time it becomes a bigger thing. So in your book, you talked about the circle of comfort. Explain that to us.
Here we are back on shapes.
Yeah.
The circle of comfort is the place where you find yourself that you don't even realize you're in it, because a circle is closed. And oftentimes we don't realize there's anything outside of where we are because we're so caught up in that circle. And I talk in the book about different situations where you're able to step out of that circle, where there's just enough opening for you to step out. And the important thing is that you do step out of that circle. Otherwise, you may not even realize the chaos that you're allowing yourself to stay into, and you are then allowing that to dictate your entire life.
Wow.
Not even realizing there's something outside of that that's so much more, and it gives you so much a different perspective of what life is all about when you have the courage and the self-awareness and the awareness of everything around you to say, you know what, I need to step out of this so I can look and see how I can expand my perspective and even expand my life, period.
You know, there's a I guess a kid's story, or there was a story about circles and triangles and stuff like that. And it's interesting because the triangle has 3 points.
Yeah.
You know, each one is sharp, and a circle is completely round. And if you stick a triangle inside of a circle and try to get it out, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
So that's pretty deep. You guys, it's pretty deep.
Yeah, I like that. Triangle inside a circle. If the ends are sharp, somebody's gonna get hurt. Is that gonna be you?
Yeah.
Is that gonna be somebody else? Somebody's bound to get hurt when you when you allow a triangle to take place, to take position within your circle.
Yeah, it's getting you. Now you got to get out of that comfort zone, because what we say, comfort zone is our failure zone. You know, we're always growing, because when we stop growing, we start to rot like, apples from a tree.
Yeah.
So when you look at, when we talk about your book, Triangulation, what message would you want people to get out of that?
That you don't have to live in misery. You don't have to live status quo. You don't have to be complaining all your life. You know, there's people in your life who complain all the time. How many situations, Tyrone, do we talk to people and they complain to us and they tell us things and we help them through it? And what do? They justify where they are. Now, they were complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
When we try to help them, they justify why they're there, which shows me that they're not ready to get out of that. They want to stay in that circle.
Mm.
And so we have to be very mindful, and you have to be very mindful as far as self-awareness. If you have a problem, do you want a solution? Or do you just want to wallow in it? One of the things I say about I'm a boundaries coach. And I always say that as your boundaries coach, I'm not here to wallow in your misery with you. I'm here to help you step out of it. I'm help to guide you out of it. But I'll tell you, if I'm talking to people and they complain about things and I try to offer suggestions and they justify where they are, I'll let them stay there.
Hey, stay right where you are.
Stay there.
I don't fight with you.
No, so you can be talking to people and they will tell you their problems and you try to help them. But here's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to rescue them. You don't want to rescue them. And we're going to talk about that because that's part of the triangle of the 3 different sides.
That's good. I like that. Here's one more question that I have from you is there was something you said about stealers or what is a potential, or I know you identify, what are potential stealers?
Potential stealers are those people that prevent you from walking in your God-given purpose. There are people that will minimize your enterprise. There are people who will hold you down like crabs in a bucket. There are people that don't want to see you succeed, so they'll make sure that you don't by throwing a glitch along your path. And a lot of times these people can even be family members, and it can even be a spouse, but you got to be able to identify it. That's why being able to set boundaries is so key. But you really can't set the right boundaries, the healthy boundaries, until you really know who you are, whose you are, and what you want, what's required of you. And that takes courage. It takes self-awareness, and it takes setting boundaries, the healthy boundaries.
Last question I have for you, and you included a boundary assessment. Talk about it for you.
A lot of times people don't even realize what boundaries are. We set boundaries every single day in every situation of our lives. The question is, are we setting the right ones? Are we capable of setting the right ones? Do we even know what they are? And so the boundary assessment that I've included in this book is going to help give you some self-awareness on where you are with setting healthy boundaries. It also helps you to see if there's things that are preventing you from setting the right boundaries. But if you don't take that assessment, if you aren't aware of it, then a lot of times you could be a people pleaser. People could walk all over you. They could take advantage of you. And then you're the one that's frustrated. Like you've got people that are they have spiritual gifts, and one of the spiritual gifts is helps, right? They love helping people. They have the spiritual gift of what's that one that I'm thinking about? Of mercy, right? These are spiritual gifts that people always want to help other people. They always want to serve. They always want to give. Compassion. They have this compassion. They always want to help people. There are people out there that see that that's the type of person that you are. They see if you're that, then they call you a people pleaser, and they'll take advantage of it. It's not until we learn to identify when people are trying to take advantage of our kindness as a weakness. When they see our kindness as a weakness, a lot of times people are from that, they're not in the right place. They will try to take advantage of you. Another thing I realized is there are a lot of people that are in relationships that that person is very healthy. They don't have any unresolved issues. They're great. But then they end up getting tied up with someone who has the dysfunctional issues, that have had unresolved trauma from their past, and they end up bringing that into relationship. And it's not until you understand this drama triangle, the different behaviors within that drama triangle, that you're able to identify the toxic and the dysfunctional behaviors that people are trying to spew all over you.
So what does the drama triangle consist of?
The drama triangle consists of an inverted triangle. And no, that's not a love sign. It's an inverted triangle. Usually you see a triangle that sits like this. Well, this triangle sits like this because it's dysfunctional. Now, understand there's always a yin and yang. There's always a bipolar, right? There are solutions that are in the upright triangle. And I talk about that in the book. But the first thing I want to do is help you to identify the inverted triangle. And that's the three positions, the 3 points within that drama triangle. And that's the rescuer, the persecutor, and the what's the other one? The victim, the most important one. Because at some point we all play the role of victim. And that's what this book is going to help you to do. It's going to help you to identify when you are falling into the victim role. And whenever you have a situation where there could be three people that are involved in some dramatic situation, typically there's one person in the middle that was pulled in, and that one person in the middle gets caught up, and that's where we start to see the triangulation. So triangulation is that place you want to make sure that you stay far away from. And in this book, it'll help you to identify the behaviors that not only you are exhibiting, but the behaviors that other people around you are exhibiting. I've even got examples in there. I have a personal example in there that happened to me, and different examples of people's lives. Some of the people that I know, my friends, my family, even my clients, all the names have been changed to protect the innocent. But I did want to make sure you had an idea of what it looks like when we get caught up in someone else's drama and how we can start to triangulate as a result of that. And that is toxic. It's unhealthy. And it's very difficult to move forward if you find yourself stuck in a position where you're allowing somebody else to pull you into their drama.
Now, last question that I'll have, and this is one of my thoughts, is there's generally 3 people to that triangle. Can there be maybe 2 people in person switch roles each time?
Oh, it's that. I'm glad you said that, because that's what I call in the book the drama dance. It's the drama dance, because at some point someone is going to move from the rescuer to the victim to the persecutor. At some point, you got to read the book to find out great examples of how that happens. And you'll start to notice that, wow, I know this all too well, because it's played out in my life, and I've seen it played out in the lives of the people that I know and love.
Wow. It sounds like a very exciting book.
That's deep. It is deep. But well worth the read. Well worth the read. I'm telling you, like you said, I've been doing this for probably about 10 years. I've been really researching this and seeing it played out in the lives of the people that we know, and even us see it play. And that's when we stop it, because our awareness is so keen at this point about it. We start to see. Have you ever been down a road, like say you have a certain car, you have a certain Beamer, right? Certain BMW, and you got it, and it's great. Isn't it funny? You go down the road and you start seeing all these Beamers like yours, and you're like, wow, I never knew there was this many out here. That's what happens when you read this book, Triangulation, because then you start to identify these behaviors that have been going on around you all along. You just never saw them.
Well, thanks for your time. I'm glad that you talked about the book and unfolded some of the pieces for us, and look forward to continue reading it.
Yep. I'm glad. Thank you.
Awesome.
All righty. Hopefully this gives you some information to get you kind of excited about what we've got coming up. I know we're excited about it, this brand new book, and what I want to do is be able to help you to live the life that you were placed on this earth to live. And what is that? The purpose that God has given you. You have the gifts to do it. You have the abilities. You have the experiences, and you have the passion. It's just a matter of doing it. And the only way you can do it is if you increase your level of self-awareness and eliminate the dysfunction and the toxicity that you have surrounding you throughout your life. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast, because the last thing you want is to miss out on any of the information that I share with you. This is Pamela Bird.
And this is Tyrone Bird.
And
let's talk boundaries, shall we?